There you go. I can hear you.
Perfect. Yeah, this is only my second Twitter space, so I'm still figuring it all out.
Oh, that
I
was
like that
your
I can be
first.
naked in bed and not
I
have to
am
get all
so
camera
jealous. I
ready.
thought I was your first girl. You should have let me believe I was the first.
No, unfortunately, I had to moderate a debate with Rolo like 2 weeks ago. So,
No,
but it's the
wait,
first
wait,
one I
wait,
get a
wait, wait,
chance.
wait, wait. Did you just say you had to moderate?
It was between, well, it was supposed to be a 2v2 between me, Alex, Rolo, and Michael Sartain, but then Rolo backed out, and so it had to be a 1v1 with him and Alex. So me and Michael had to moderate because I guess they had some pre-existing beef and all that, which I don't know much about. So I was just eating my DoorDash, sitting in my bed.
Oh my God, dude. So let me show you how. Listen, I'm going to one up everybody because you know I like to be special, right? So this is what I'm going to do. Like I'm recording this right now on my computer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, of course, edit it on my YouTube channel. And then I'm going to like show all your pictures, but also in between of showing your pictures, show an advertisement of your links. Okay.
Cool.
To and in between that, it's I want to make this space more welcome to people in the industry, women in the industry. Well, men too. I wouldn't have no problem talking to men as well. But it was like I always have a good conversation with you. So
Yeah, I
that's why
love
I
talking to
said,
you.
yeah, I was like, let's do this. Let's do
Let's
this.
go.
So you remember when you came on my show and I said, and you told me that you have a one-way open relationship where you're open, you can date and do whatever you want with another guy or any guys, but the guy you're dating is exclusive to you. When I took that, now we did that interview a long time ago. I took the clip, I put it on my Twitter, and men lost their minds. Like they literally lost their minds. And so my question is, um, is that still a thing? And the second question is, what did you think about the craziness? The men were so outraged that how dare you be in a one-sided open relationship?
Yeah, so that is definitely still going on, and I mean, I expected it, and I thought the funny thing is because I've said it on multiple podcasts now, and it's funny, like the cope that men will do in the comments, like they'll be like, "Oh, it's probably because she's paying for everything." I'm like, "No, I don't pay for shit, and I don't pay him for the content." Oh, well, it's like their brains just break at the idea of me having all this power in the relationship, but they're totally fine when it's the other way around, when it's
Right,
reversed,
right, right,
right? And
right.
it's funny because I always say, like, these red pill guys, they say, like, get your status up, get your money up, become that, and then you can have this kind of relationship. Well, I did the same thing. I got my money up, my status up, and now I'm in this relationship and they hate it. Sorry. And then they say, "Oh, well, he must be some loser simp." I'm like, no, no, no. He's actually a very prominent. He's a public figure, very successful, works with celebrities, musicians, all of that. And they hate, like, there has to be something wrong with him, or there has to be something wrong with the relationship. They can't accept. It's okay when a successful guy gets a really hot, model and has multiple girlfriends, but when a successful woman gets a successful guy who's willing to be the less dominant person in the relationship, that really bothers them.
Huh. So so I totally get how they're getting outraged and they thinking, how dare is you're a woman, and they're thinking you're like they're like a sugar mama, which is not the case. They're thinking that this guy is a simp. He's not that. Okay. And I think because you're not one of a kind, but I don't know anyone else in the sex industry who has this type of relationship. And if they do, they're quiet about it.
Yeah, yeah. But I can tell you this, like, especially the guys in the industry, like him, like this was someone who was Instagram models left and right. I actually made him, he's not allowed to go on his Instagram anymore. He has to give it over to his team. He doesn't have the password. I have the password. Like, it is like, these are the first types of guys because they're so used to sleep. Like, the guys that listen to like Fresh and Fit and stuff, they're not used to having the ability to sleep with a bunch of beautiful women.
Right.
But the men that have had that ability, they're bored. they want someone interesting. They want someone smart. They want someone that can kind of put them in their place. They want somebody that is going to argue and have different opinions and challenge them and make them think. Like, this is a guy who, he's like, my whole life, because he was always so successful and people always could gain something from the success, or he was always like the big man on set. People didn't like challenge him. And he even says, he's like, I go around all day and people tell me I'm so great, I'm a genius, and then I come home to you and you're telling me I'm stupid and retarded, and I need that. It's so funny. Like, if we go somewhere and people are like, oh my God, thank you so much for eating at our burger shop, I'm like looking at them weird. I'm like, no, he's not anything special. Don't be happy he's eating here. Like, you don't know him. He's not that great. And he loves that. That's why he's willing to be in this kind of thing with me. And this really upsets people, because the idea is, oh, these guys are going to be even harder to tie down. These guys are going to be, no. These guys are much easier, because being a boring like girl that just sits around and does what they say, they're used to that, they're bored of it, and they want something different.
Mm-hmm. What is your suggestion on how to like make this more acceptable? Because like I think one of the reasons why it's such a big pushback is because of the fact that it's not normal. It's because of the fact that women are okay with, like, first of all, I could never do the poly thing where I'm loyal to one guy and he gets to like tag
No.
and stuff all these other women. I could never do that. But I mean, like my thing is because it's always the one man and several women, but you rarely see that one woman, I mean, who can do whatever she wants with whatever man she wants, with as many men she wants, and she got that one loyal guy there beside her. It's I don't know if it I don't well, let me ask you, do you think it turns men on, it turns them off, or they don't know how to cope with it?
Um, I mean, obviously, I think that if he had the choice, he would want us to just like be together. And I think a lot of women in reverse, like in these polygamous relationships, like I don't think these women are like happy when men go around and are with multiple
No, they're
people.
not.
No, so I agree with that. I don't know if they're necessarily, but at the same time, like in this situation, like he doesn't want to lose me. He doesn't want to go back to sleeping with like a bunch of girls and stuff. Like he's had that. He's bored. He wants somebody, like I said, that's different, that's interesting. And as to your question as to how to make this more acceptable, is to talk about it. I feel like a lot of women who even are in this kind of situation, or they are the more dominant, controlling one in the relationship, they don't want to talk about it because of the extreme hate and like misogyny that's around that, you get demonized. I mean, like, look at the way like Amber Heard or any woman who even comes out and says anything about somebody, as long as they have had anything like any negative part, if there was anything negative on their part, I feel like the internet and society clings on to that, because there's such a hatred that people have for women that are not just complete victims. Like, if you are not a complete 100% victim, then there's no empathy for you. And I think it's a societal issue. It's like internalized misogyny that even a lot of women have. And yet
Yes.
we see it as like, oh, it's normal. It's normal that Leonardo DiCaprio is doing this. It's normal. This is what men do. It's normal. It's genetic. It's evolutionary. All of these excuses that people use, but then when it's a woman doing it, then they're a bad person, and they're all of those things.
If you could guess, how many women do you think are doing this on a down low?
I think it's a lot. It's hard to put a percentage, but there are a lot of women that I think do this, or, they are the more dominant person in the relationship, and the men do have to put up with the fact that, yeah, I'm going on a date. Yeah, I want to be, and they're going to sit at home waiting, even though they don't like it. They're going to do it the same way a bunch of women do it when there is a powerful, high value, quote unquote, man on the table. I think it's almost the same amount on both sides. Now, the difference is there are more powerful men than there are powerful women because
Yes.
of the way our society is set up.
Yeah.
But I do think, especially the women that got their bag, that are more are like, like me and you, like the alpha types of females, we are out there, and a lot of us are able to have this kind of power over men.
I agree. Now that the red pill has been dying out, That's why when you told me that you were moderating a debate with Rolo, it surprised me. I was like, huh. Um, so that they're still, after you have made so many of them look crazy, they're still inviting you onto their platform.
Actually, not really. Like, I feel like I haven't been on the Whatever podcast in a long time, and I
Right.
know that whenever Andrew Wilson is afraid of me, he won't
Of
debate
course
me,
he is.
and
Of
so
course
he
he is.
always backs out of everything. Like, they've reached out to me multiple times to do a thing with him, and it's always him that, behind the scenes, especially because I think he has a close relationship with Brian, like
Yes.
makes up an excuse, and he's been known to do that with other people. Like, he'll say to their face, "Oh yeah, I'm willing to debate you," or "I'm willing," and then later he'll say, he's used every excuse in the book. "Oh, she's boring to debate." I'm like, I'm bored. You can say a lot of things about me. Boring
One
is
thing
not
you
one.
are not
Oh,
is
I
boring.
like everything, right?
Right.
And then on Fresh and Fit, I think we were slated to do something, but I don't know if that might be just like a scheduling thing. But yeah, even it's supposed to be me and Farha versus Andrew and Myron. But even Farha was saying, like, at this point their views are so low that, like,
So low, girl.
us,
Oh
like,
my
going on there will
God.
probably be like their, like, most viewed video in a very long time. So they are dying out, which is kind of sad for the hookers, whores, and 304s, because they were such a great funnel and like such a great advertisement for us, which I have said on your when I've spoken to you previously. Like, it's the
That
end of an
video took
era,
off, by the way.
an
It
era
was
that
being used in
benefited.
other people's videos as well. I just want you to know.
Exactly. It's the end of an era that benefited nobody as much as it benefited hookers, whores, and 304. So I'm
Hmm.
hoping that they evolve and that they somehow, stay relevant so that we can too, because we're in tandem with them.
Right,
Because they
right.
love to hate on us, and that just brings us traffic
And money.
and
That's the
money.
biggest thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, now I have to debate, tradcons and other types of people, which honestly, nothing is as easy to dismantle as the red pill, because their ideology was so stupid. And like, you could literally do 15 minutes of research and dismantle everything they say. I'm going
Facts.
to be disappointed if better arguments or better ideologies are now going to be out there to combat, because I have to do more work, because there was nothing as easy as on the red pill. Nothing is easy. Like, everything they said was just completely counterfactual, like not in alignment with common sense. Like, it was like I could do it in my sleep. And so now, like, it's interesting because now people, like, I kind of came up as like anti-red pill, and now people are like, "Oh, do politics, do this." And I'm like, "Oh, but that's research and that's work, and I want to sit by the pool, and the only thing easy enough to sit by the pool and like completely like destroy is the red pill." So yeah, we'll see.
Here's the deal. Andrew is, I don't know if you know this story. I don't know if I ever even told you the story, but I was on the Simpcast
Mm.
with Chrissy, and
Yeah,
Andrew
like,
was drunk off his butt in the chat room saying, "Bring me on, bring me on." He was making a fool out of himself in the chat. And I said on Chrissy's show, I said, "Hey, Andrew, you wanna debate? You wanna come on and talk about whatever?" We was talking about the whole cake gate with Isabella, right? Isabella DeLuca.
mm.
And I said, "If you want to debate me, let's do blood sports. No rules, me and you." Oh, and this, by the way, this story is going to segue into why I invited you on. Okay, so I was like, no rules, just me and you. We go at it, blood sports style. And I want you to know that blood sports have no rules. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
anything goes. He accepted the debate, and so when he came onto my channel, he had tricks up his sleeve just like I did, because I was trying to show, like, these two try to pretend that they're holier than thou Catholics, and that
Oh, yes.
yeah, that they're very religious, but you know,
Doesn't
uh,
she have like 3 baby daddies?
3 baby daddies, and the last 2 kids, the 2 daughters that Andrew have by her, they had out of wedlock while he was married to another woman. No,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
like, and that's one of the reasons I think they're afraid. Like, they don't want to, because I'm like you, and I feel like a lot of other, even the girls in the space who debate them, they don't want to bring up like personal things, and I don't want to
Why?
bring it up if
Why?
we're
Why
gonna
are they
say.
so nice? I don't
I
understand
do
this.
not understand. No, 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 Tree. You have to. I was in the shower and I saw that Pixie and I love Pixie. She's like the sweetest person
Yeah, I
ever, but
like
she's
Pixie
sweet to
too.
a fault, and I'm not
Yeah,
sweet like
yeah.
that, and you're not sweet like that.
Hell
So
no.
like, I feel like I was literally in the shower playing her debate, and like everything Andrew would say, like, oh yeah, men are always, they don't care about intelligence, they just want a beautiful young thing. And I'm like in the shower, like screaming, then why is your wife so ugly? Like, why is your wife so ugly? Like, and Pixie's just like, oh, like, why is no one saying this? Like, I would literally sit there and be like, your wife with 3 baby daddies, fucking hideous. Why'd you marry her? And I'm like, these women won't go there. They're too nice.
He
I'll go
even
there.
said his own wife was ugly. He's like, I didn't marry my wife for her looks. This is exactly what he said, because she's not a good looking woman, but
Yeah,
she
and
cooks,
then
she
meanwhile
cleans.
he's on a podcast like all men want is good looking, like pure women. And I'm like, why is your wife so ugly? Like in the shower, putting shampoo in my hair. And I'm like, no wonder this man won't debate me. He needs like these really calm, like college, like
Yes.
not Pixie. Pixie's actually very well like educated and stuff, but he's done other debates with like random girls, or like he always does it either with random girls or very sweet, nice girls. But girls like me and women like you, he knows that's a risk, because yeah, we're gonna go there. Your wife's ugly, and she
And fat.
has multiple kids with multiple baby daddies. So how are you going to sit here and say that she is, prop her up, whereas I'm like 20? When she was my age, she had two probably broke, multiple baby daddies. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here pretty rich doing my thing. Like, please explain to me how that's a better outcome for women than what I'm doing.
Oh, good point. Good point. The girl, I made him rage quit because he brought out my. The thing about these guys is they don't study their enemies. Yeah, and
Yeah.
so my thing is, people who know me, people who watch me know that I'm very proud of my pro dom past, which is now I'm doing part time again, right? Because I was telling everybody I was getting back into the domination business because there's so many men who love this. They love being dominated, tortured. They love to be like slapped. They love to have bad things done to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I'm getting back into that. But he didn't know I was proud of this. And he started putting up my domination pictures on there, calling me a prostitute and basically ignoring the fact that, like, dude, I'm not. And I told him right then and there, I'm not afraid of the fact that you are bringing up my pro dom past, because I'm very proud of it.
Yeah,
I'm getting
it
back
was the
into
first
the
thing you
business.
said in your first email to me.
Yeah.
Like, it was not something you were hiding or ashamed
Everybody
of.
who knows me knows I always talk about that because I love doing it. But here's the deal. When I started bringing up his wife and how she was, all these guys, and she cheated on her first man who never married her, saying how she has like 3 baby daddies, 5 kids, this and the other, how they had kids out of wedlock, he rage quit. Ever since then, he refused to come back and debate me again. And then he's crying, oh, she won't let me talk in edgewise. And I'm like, dude, you kept singing the whole time during the debate while I was presenting the case of how you actually, the 304s you call these other women, you married one. And I wanted...
You married a stupid one too, not even like the smart one making money. Stupid, ugly, like, what is a redeeming quality about this person? And then I actually saw a little clip of him trying to explain like the circumstances. He's like something his brother offed himself, and like he was like, I'm really, and even the story was weird. Like he like walked in on it and he like cleaned it up and then called I'm like, did you kill your brother? Like, it just sounds like it sounds like a very suspicious story. Like and then calling the cops. Like, imagine calling the cops and being like, hey, like somebody I knew, I just blew their brains out, but I cleaned it, don't worry. Like, I was like, I don't know what this man's story is, but it's weird.
These guys lie a lot. That's all they do. They freaking lie. But anyway, so the whole thing, I cleaned that up, and then I think not too long ago after that, I saw your you were on the panel. You and Farr was Mark. I keep calling him another name.
Marquette or something.
Marquette,
Yeah.
right, there you go. And he kept calling you a prostitute, and it didn't faze you. He
No.
did it 3 times, and he's like, "Well, you're just a whore." And you just sat there and motionless, said nothing. You gave no reaction. And then he tried it again by saying, "Well, a prostitute like you would know something like that." Once again, you gave no reaction. And then, I don't know if you noticed this, he stopped doing it. And I was like, I told my chat, I was like, look at that. He called her a prostitute, he called her a whore to get a reaction, and she gave nothing. And then he moved on to some other place. Actually, he realized he couldn't get a rise out of you, so he went to Farha. And
Yeah.
so that's what I wanted to talk to you. Like, explain your mindset, because I want other women to know the same thing. Like, men are trying to shame women by calling us whores, by calling us strippers, by calling us 304s. And if you give a reaction, it validates or it gives them a rise or it makes them feel good.
Yeah, yeah. I just don't find the word offensive. I don't find the concept offensive. Like I remember even when like the first time I heard the word slut and I didn't know like what it meant, and then I found out like I looked up the official definition. But at the time you didn't have phones and stuff, so I don't even remember how I went in. I think on the school computer I like looked it up, and it was like a woman who has many casual partners. And I mean, at the time, like I was like a child, I didn't have any. Like I still actually have a fairly quote unquote low body count. But I was like, okay, so like what? I don't understand how this is. It's like calling someone tall or calling someone short. I don't find it to be an offensive word. I know they mean it to be offensive. But if someone, for instance, called me like a liar or called me something to actually, for in my views, that doesn't align with my values and tarnishes my character, I would find that far more offensive than you're a whore, you're a prostitute. Cool, I don't care. I don't. Am I still on?
Yeah,
Sorry.
you're still on.
Okay.
You went blank just for a second, but you're back now.
Okay. So yeah, so when someone calls you those kinds of names, and I even urge people not to do it the other way around. Like if you're calling Andrew Tate misogynistic and sexist, I look for things that are actually going to hurt the person or
Yeah.
actually going to make a point. Just calling people racist, homophobic, misogynistic, prostitute, whore, it's boring. It doesn't pack a punch. It doesn't pack a punch for most of us over here. And just like on the other side, it doesn't pack a punch to call these people racist and sexist. Actually say why they're wrong, say why they're stupid, say why they're like, those are the kinds of ways that you can actually break them down. Name calling is boring, and I don't think it's effective. And it's definitely not effective when it's hurled at me, which is why I think I'm actually cut out to do this. Because obviously, a lot of girls, they don't like to go into those hot seats and be like, poked at. But I don't mind. Like maybe it's my lawyer background plus with my like I don't give a attitude. And yeah, and Farha doesn't care either. So we were laughing about it like the entire time afterwards. But I guess she's just a little less likely to hurl insults back. Where
Yeah,
like
she's not
yeah,
confrontational.
she's not as confrontational. Where I will be like, yeah, your wife's ugly and you're ugly and you're all ugly. I'll say that.
Okay, do you think and I'm just curious, do you think your childhood, your teenage years, was there any way that primed you to be this way?
Um, I guess in a sense, and I think we talked about this before,
Mhm.
having a strong father figure who
Yes.
literally like, treated me like a princess who could do no wrong, always told me I was the smartest, always told me I was the best, always told me I was the prettiest. And not to say that I am all those things, like not at all, but what I'm saying is that having especially a man that made you think you walk on water, it's very hard to not walk around very confident
Mm.
and to not be, you can't please everybody, but all the people that matter to me, and especially all the men that matter to me since the very first man that I knew has loved me and respected me and treated me very well. I don't tolerate disrespect in my personal life, and I
Right.
don't mind
Me
disrespect
neither.
from random strangers on the internet, because at the end of the day, they're helping me. This is my job, and I don't care. So I think that's a big thing. I think a lot of women who have like abandonment issues, or they have those types of issues, they seek validation from men, and I do not seek validation from men at all. I've had validation from men since I was born from my father, and then I only got in the subsequent relationships I got in were relationships that I had a ton of respect. So yeah, I think that's really big, and I know we talked about that before.
Yes. Do you think is there, and I'm just asking this personally
Mm-hmm.
because I'm trying to find some kind of patience with women who seek validation from men to the point where they'll cut the throat of another woman. Now, and then I'll see some women. Now, those women I don't care about. There's no way I'm going to deal with those women, right? But I'm gonna tell you where I'm having some challenges. I'm having challenges on women who have a soft spot for evil people who do evil things. For example, I'm very frustrated. Actually, I just some of these women I just block who are trying to woo over Pearl because she's a woman. They think that if they're nice to her, they think that if they're catering to her in some kind of way, that she will switch over and become a better person. And I don't like these type of women, and I hate when they do this because you are literally letting someone in who don't respect women. They don't even
Yeah.
respect themselves. So I guess my question is, do you believe like they believe? First of all, I know you would never be nice to somebody like Pearl or anybody who's just so aggressive and so confrontational and just
No, I just did a
evil.
Jubilee with her that should be coming out soon. So if you're into
What?
that, yeah, I was on like a couple weeks ago, men's rights activist versus feminist, and she was on that side. The only really annoying thing is Jubilee is very much like everyone get along, middle ground, like no insults. So that was really hard. So I think we're gonna cut the few times I insulted her. So that was really annoying. And yeah, we got into a little spiff over what I was wearing and what she was wearing. And then at the end, she actually had her little camera and she's like, Jasmine, what'd you think of it? And I was like, nothing you said was stimulating. I can make all your arguments for you. And she's like, oh, you're such a fan. I'm like, no, I don't watch your show. I actually want I want to learn the good arguments on the other side. If I watch your show, I just get dunked on 24/7 like you do. And I was like, and next time, please cover up, because she was dressed so scantily clad while simultaneously
I
saying women
know.
dress that way for attention. So I was like, what are you looking for, Pearl? Because I was wearing a turtleneck down to my knees, and she was wearing like this short dress. I was like, what are you
She
looking for?
always wears something short. She always wears something short
Always.
because wait, let me tell you why. Because her simps told her that the best feature she has on her body is her legs. Because she doesn't have a butt, she doesn't have a chest. Like she's a negative A cup, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing about her body that's sexy. And because she's tall, all she has is her legs. So when men told her her legs are her best feature, that's all she does is wear short skirts.
Yeah. Well, her dress was blue, so she told me she only wore it because she likes the color blue. And then Julie was like, okay, guys, enough, no insults. I was like, no, please keep this footage in. Because you know how they cut it down so much?
Yes,
And
yes.
I'm like, please. Because I'm like, please, I want a blood sport type of debate with her. And obviously, middle ground is just not the place for that. So that was like, just because it's been such a long time coming. But I
Right.
100% agree with you that it's very annoying that these kinds of women exist, which is why like I'm pro women, but I'm only pro like redeemable cool women. I'm not
Thank
pro.
you. Yes.
No. I don't
Yes.
promulgate myself as being pro all women, because some women are stupid and dumb, and I would trade them in for some men that are smart. And
Facts.
like I want to be team cool, redeemable, smart. I don't need to be team man or team woman or team anything, because there are a lot of women that I think, even when their intentions are good, I just think they're yeah, I don't want Pearl on our side. Like, please
Right.
stop. she's
Right.
not she's
Right.
not savable. She's not like, so any women that think that being nice to her, or that that she's a victim herself, like, no. Stop. Yeah, so it is hard, and I remember I used to struggle with that more in the beginning when I'd go on these podcasts, and there'd be women on the panel that are like 18, like, you know, young, and they would like agree with them. And I wanted to be like, do not, because I will come for you and I will start attacking you. It'll be like crushing something with my pinky. And I don't want to do that because you're young, but like, shut the up. Oh, he's especially the fresh and fit ones, like the ones in Miami who like hardly speak English, are just like on there like, no, I want a man who cheats on me. I'm like, shut up.
But they don't though. They just say that because they, you know, they're not confrontational and they have a fear of Myron chimping out on them.
Oh, 100%. And the first time I went on, there was a girl in the lobby who's like, okay, guys, if you don't want them to yell at you, just like agree with them. And I'm like, I'm here for the smoke. What do you like, what? And like, it's just, and then right when we went up, like she went to the bathroom after we were supposed to be listening. And the way that, what's their producer, Chris, I think is his name.
Yeah,
like,
the little fat one who always
her, like,
got the camera on
like,
him.
Yeah,
So.
I used to be a school teacher and and she's like, sorry. I'm like, you could.
Being nice makes
no
them
amount of
disrespect you
money
even more though.
Huh?
Being nice makes them disrespect you even more.
Oh, 100%. Like that was the only girl that they were talking to that way. Because she was the most agreeable. Being agreeable is not something that I think helps you with these kinds of men. Like, be agreeable in certain situations with your mom, with your dad, with your whatever. I'm not, but you can. But don't be agreeable with these types of people because it does not serve you. And like, even an example of even the guy I'm in a one-sided open relationship with, let's all remember he literally has been just like, he's never wanted to be monogamous with anyone. He was the type of person that always wanted to be in the one-sided open relationship the other way. And he married a woman who was the perfect trad wife, still to this day, like keeps the Sabbath, blah, 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 blah. He had and he divorced her and like super, and he's like, yeah, they don't want those kinds of women. You do everything right. You're really nice. You're really sweet. Nobody falls in love with someone because they're nice, sweet, and submissive.
Facts.
That is not the case. You will never have a man head over heels for you, willing to give up everything, be in a one-sided open relationship, be groveling at your knees when he has all these other options of beautiful women because you're so nice, submissive, and you cook great bone broth. That is not the case. Now he's running around with a young OnlyFans model, like on the internet, and he's like, I never, before I met you, I always thought women were like these side character women, and I didn't think that there would be someone equal to. I'm like, this is low-key like sad that you thought this.
Really?
Like, yeah, he was like, before you, I didn't think, like, I thought for intellectual conversations you go to your boys. I thought that like women just like, at least the women I was around, because a lot of the women he was around besides like were like backup dancers or models or whatever.
Okay.
And he's like, I didn't know that people would say like, oh, date your best friend. And he's like, I just thought that was something people would say. I didn't think. And I'm like, yeah, you all this advice for women to turn you into a side character. Nobody falls in love with the side character. People fall in love with the main character.
Thank you.
Be a main character,
yes.
bitch. And if you're a main character, these guys, the type of guys that are usually like ghosting all these other girls or whatever, or like they will be at you, they will be groveling at your feet, because those are the kinds of women that actually people fall in love with. Women that can challenge them, women that are their equals, women that are interesting. You can hire a maid to cook for you and clean for you and listen to you, but you can't hire anybody to fucking be the main character of the show.
And that's boring for men, right?
It's so boring. It's so boring.
I told this to my audience a month ago. I said my husband's ex-wife was the best Barbara the Builder ever. She built the best husband for me.
Yeah.
Homegirl did all the work for me to reap the benefits. Because, you know, he too didn't respect her. He too was bored of her. And then when he met me, like I said, and a lot of guys get mad when I tell them how it took about my husband 5 tries for me to finally to agree to go out for a lunch with him.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I wasn't going to make it easy for him. I wasn't going to sit up here and go, oh yes, oh you picked me. You pick. No, I'm the one who does the picking. I'm the one who choose whether I'm going to go out with you or not. And then while dating, let him know you're not the only one until I have some jewelry on my fingers. We don't have to be in a committed relationship if we don't want it. He hated that. And that
Oh
was such a
yeah.
challenge to him. It was like, boom, instant love, instantly fell in love with me. And it was like, I tell women all the time, you guys are making it too hard. It's really not that hard. And I think the reason why, Jazmen, is that they don't get it is because it's not their personality to
Yeah.
be aggressive and alpha and to be like, I'm all about me. I'm the main character.
Exactly, exactly. And it's unfortunate. And, and one thing I would tell girls, especially young, susceptible girls, go like, they're always like, oh, this is how you find a man. And da, 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 da. Men are not like waiting to try. Like, you hear this all the time. Women be like, oh, I want to go to Europe, but, I'm going to wait to go with my husband. Men are not waiting for their wives to go to
Nope.
Europe. Men
Nope.
are not waiting to see the
Nope.
world till they're married. Go be a interesting person. Go learn how to do things. Go have things to talk about when you meet these interesting men, because like I said, men are not going to fall in love with you because you're so submissive. They're going to be able to use you and control you, but those are not the women they're going to fall in love with. And you don't know how many men I met, like including this one, who were like, oh, I just thought monogamy wasn't for me. Like I think a lot of the men that say they don't want monogamy, it's because they've never met a woman that they actually love and that they actually like, because then that's all they want.
Right, 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 right.
So
Did
yeah, I mean,
I
but like you
I
said,
did
I
a
think
lot of
it's just
traveling
personality.
in my 20s. I'm really shocked that women are not, using their 20s to travel and to experience life and to basically just live it up, because the older men with a lot of money are pursuing them. And when I was in my early 20s, I knew what was up because of my
Yeah.
dad, right? So I was like, I know you're going to buy this for me, you're going to take me here, I'm going to go there. I'm not going to, if you sit up here and get a temper tantrum, the fact that I'm going to go to Italy, that's on you. You can
Hmm.
go. If you do, you're going to pay for everything. But if I go by myself, I don't need you to tag along and stop checking in on me. It's like, I think also another part of this is that they have this urge to see if they can break. Well, this is my experience when I was in my early 20s, is
Hmm.
that they want to see if they can break you.
Yeah, that's happened to me too, and they learned very quickly that it's not going to happen, and
Right.
that if we're going to talk about how to, if you want to try to manipulate me, I can manipulate you 10 times better. And those
Facts.
those relationships, they ended up wrapped around my finger. Just it's for I literally would use those relationships to test my own manipulation skills. I'm like, great, a fucking challenge, a challenge, like. But like you said, it's very hard to teach this skill to women because it is very much like you either have it or you don't.
Right.
And a lot of women are just such pushover. Like they're such pushovers. Like I see the kinds of things that they, because they're agreeable and they don't want to piss anyone off and they're non-confrontational, and it doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve you, especially with these kinds of men. These quote unquote high value men that these men talk about are usually the kind of men that, yeah, being nice and agreeable is what they're used to, and they don't care. They will never care about you. They won't love you.
Yeah, because what makes you stand out? If you have a whole bunch of yes ma'ams and yes sirs around you, what makes the person that's common, but what stands out is someone that says, I don't care about you. Who are you? You're nothing to me,
Mhm.
You are going to do the way I want it to be done, or I don't need you in my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm good by myself, or I'm good doing what I'm doing. And I think the validation thing that you was talking about earlier is a key component to all of this, because like I said, they don't like being rejected. They have abandonment issues.
Mhm.
And so they feel the need that if I do what he says, he will stay in my life longer. But they're not happy though.
No, they're not. They're not happy, and I yeah, I mean, even like with my the guy, the one-sided open relationship I'm in, like he even, and a lot of them, they don't even realize this. Like they're not necessarily. He's like, I hate to say, he's like, I thought that I loved the mother of my son at some point, but he's like, until I was in this, like, I realized that no, I never loved that person. Like, you need to make it so that they are afraid to lose you, because what you have is
Yes,
irreplaceable. And
yes.
you and me,
Oh,
you're not going to find another tree. You're not going to find another Jasmine. I am not threatened by young hot girls sitting on a yacht that
facts.
can't string 2 sentences together to save their lives. I can get my own yacht, and I can go sit on it, and I can have a really riveting discussion about philosophy, politics. I can challenge your modes of thinking, because when I'm single, I'm not spending time looking for a man. I'm reading, I'm learning, I'm
Yes.
nurturing my soul, like my intellect, my body. I'm going to the gym. I'm trying to be active. Those are the kinds of people that people are attracted to. No one's attracted to someone desperate looking for a man, like, or other way around, looking for a girl, watching YouTube videos on how to be more masculine or how to be more feminine. Like, what? You guys are just all weirdos. All of you. And there's a reason no one wants to date you, because
Right.
if I like went to some guy's house and his YouTube recommendation was like how to make how to make yourself irresistible to women, I'd be like, okay, you're a loser, goodbye. And there is content the other way around, telling girls like, oh yeah, like, speak softly and don't do this, and like,
Oh,
give this long
God,
eye
give me a break.
contact. And I'm like, and again, and that advice is always to like boring, trad, modestly dressed women. And it's like, the women over here, we have no shortage of men knocking down our doors to date us. No matter how much of a hooker, whore, or 304 we're not the ones having issues attracting men.
Right,
But
right.
you submissive little Christian house like wife type of people, you guys are the ones watching these videos. Like, make sure you glance at him for 4 seconds and then look away. What the fuck is this? It's really funny. Sometimes at night I take an edible and I just watch this stuff, and it's the greatest time of my life. Like, I don't know why girls complain about being single, because it's so fun to be single and just sit in your room and watch this shit by yourself. Like, it's
Hold on.
way more fun than being out with some dusty guy.
Hello? Hello? I don't understand. Like, I guess they just don't know the cheat codes, or maybe they don't know the codes at all. Especially, hold on. Here's another question I want to ask you, because there's no way. Well, let me just see what you believe, because there's a woman who used to call herself a femcel, and I said there's no such thing as a femcel. She just has high standards. That's all that is. Okay, I said an incel, yeah, but a femcel, no. So for like 2 years, she kept saying she was a femcel, 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 and then she was thinking about unaliving herself. And she said, before I unalive myself, I want to go ahead and have mind-blowing sex, and instantly found somebody to have sex with. And he rocked her world. Now she doesn't want to unalive herself unalive herself anymore. So I was like, she proved my point that there's no such thing as a femcel, right? Women can get sex anytime they want. It's just that they are and I have every right. I think they have every right to be choosy. They just have higher standards than most men. What is your opinion in reference to femcels?
Yeah. I think I was listening to some podcast where they were talking about this, and it's like men. There's a lot of men who have issue getting a woman at all. There are no women who have an issue getting a man at all, but there are women who have an issue getting a man they want.
Right.
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 And so, yeah, I don't think in femcel and an incel is the same thing. I don't think there are women who are unable to get a man, but I do think there are women that struggle with getting a man that they actually are. Like, I
Agree.
mean, I think a lot of women can agree with this. Like, I could be horny as I could be horny as and unless I want to fuck you, like, I'm good. My pussy's dry. I don't want like it's not like I want to I'm just horny, and if there's a guy I want to fuck, then I'll fuck that guy. But it's not just like I want to fuck, period. But I think for men it is I want to fuck, period. So there's a lot of women that I think can still feel lonely or feel like they don't have, but the kind of guy that actually will bring them those positive feelings that we're all looking for, intimacy, attraction, etc. I do think there are women who struggle to find those type of men, not me and you, because again,
Right.
you must have their own slew of problems.
Fact.
So I do think there is room for female struggle in dating, but no, I don't think there are such thing as there's any woman. I don't care what she looks like. I don't care if disabled, obese, whatever. You can find a man, but the problem is, like, you probably don't want just a man. You probably want a man you like, and sometimes
Right.
that can be hard for them.
I was in a discussion with a group of women in reference to saying they were showing a cartoon of a man that was wanting sex from his wife, and she says, "No, I have a headache." And the bubble says from him, "It's been 2 weeks." And the women in the comment section are saying like, "Oh yeah, she has a low libido." And I challenged that and I said, I've never had a low libido. I said, I think she
Me
just
neither.
doesn't want to fuck him. Right?
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty common that when we have a partner, we actually want to. I want to all the fucking. I want
Thank
the
you.
dick.
Exactly.
I want it tonight. Like it feels fucking good. So yeah, those of you that are like, my girlfriend hasn't slept with me in 2 weeks, that was always one of my critiques of it. I'm like, these women don't like you. The red pill trading resources for sex, and they're like, yeah, it's really annoying when girls like reject having sex when we're supposed to protect them if like an intruder comes in. I'm like, your girls reject having sex with you? I am always ready to have sex
I
with.
can't relate. Exactly. I love fucking my husband to the
Yeah.
point where it's like it's becoming strategic to jump on him sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So it's got to the point where it's a game and he loves it. But the
Yeah,
thing,
in the morning when they're still asleep, so you
yeah.
just like push your ass on their dick and like I just like get on top, have my like swinging in his face like good morning. Yeah. If you're actually in a relationship where you like each other and you're attracted to each other, it's not that this weird exchange of like, I'm alpha and I give you
Right.
resources and you're whatever. You don't run into this issue. Now, again, I don't know about people who've been like, I don't know how long you've been married, so maybe you can speak to this more than I can. I don't know once you have like 3 kids and you're like breastfeeding in the middle of the night. Like, I don't know
That's
about people
different.
who've been
I
married
don't
for
have
30
any
years.
kids, but no, I totally get if a woman just, popped a baby out of her. That's totally different. But in this scenario, this was just a woman, just a regular woman. She wasn't postpartum. She didn't push out kids. She wasn't breastfeeding. It was just like a regular marriage. Like, and that because whoever posted the cartoon, of course, they didn't leave much context. So you would have to say, okay, if this woman it did not just have a baby, if she's is not breastfeeding,
Or
if
it's like
she's not
depressed or
8 months
something.
pregnant, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Okay, I can see that. But I said, if this is just a regular marriage, all right, kids or no kids, I said, I think she doesn't want to fuck her 2 weeks not fucking your husband. Come on now.
And I guarantee you, unless there's like some type of like she's depressed, something grieving, something. But outside of that, if she were to end this relationship and have a new relationship where those feelings are bubbling again, she's gonna want
Yes.
to all the time. I mean, how many times towards the end of a previous relationship where you're just kind of like losing that interest, you didn't really want to do it as much anymore, and you're like, oh, you just are less horny in general, and then you meet somebody a few months later or whatever, and you want to all the
Right.
time. So it's not just I think it's not as simple as who has high libido in general and who doesn't, because with the way we work that is very contingent upon how much how happy we are in the relationship, how satisfied we are, and how satisfied we are with your dick, because that is the thing that determines how much we want to fuck, not our own personal libido levels.
With also the libido, I think a lot of these women have never experienced climaxing. I looked at Alexander and I saw he's a scientist, and
Yeah,
it
the date site
shocked,
guy.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
he's awesome.
shocked me the low percentage of women who never had an orgasm ever. Like, isn't that crazy?
It's
And I
crazy. And because a lot of women, they're so ashamed of their sexuality that they don't ask for the things that they like from their partners, or they don't
why
even
is that?
explore with themselves because
I
it's
was saying the same thing. I was like,
yeah.
listen, I learned at a young age, especially when I like once again in my 20s, that there was a guy and we hooked up. Like we were cool for several months. And he was always sexy to me, but I wasn't interested. But this one time I was really interested. And he got so excited that he came within 2 minutes. We had a hotel room. I literally picked all his shit up off the floor and his shoes. I opened the hotel room, the door, and I threw his shit out. I said, get the fuck out. You gave me trash. You can't got to get out of this room. I said, you come back when you get your shit together. Ever since then, right?
Mhm.
I always tell a man, this is how, because men are always going to come, right? They
Yeah.
always, it's not going to be hard to please a man.
No.
But for women, you have to open your mouth and say, okay, this is how I get off. And when I get off, you can get off. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of the things that even turn women on, I feel like a lot of women are ashamed of, and until recently or until you're looking for this stuff, you might think you're the only one. I mean, me and you seem like we're pretty open with our friends, but there's a lot of women who don't talk about sex with each other, who don't want to do that kind of exploration. So there's a lot of women who are like, yeah, I want to be choked a little bit, I want to be dominated a little bit, but they're so embarrassed of that. They're so embarrassed of the things that turn them on, because for a long time, the narrative was that we don't even have a sexuality, that we're just giving something to men and they're taking it and we're just, laying there or whatever. And I think a lot of women just have so much shame that they don't want to explore the things that turn them on, because they think, oh my God, something's wrong with me. Why do I want to be dominated in bed? Why do I want to be choked? Why do I want it a little rough? Oh my gosh, what does this say about me? And they're so concerned with that they are missing out on so much fucking fun. I just got the O shot like a month ago, and just because I wanted more orgasms by myself. Just like,
What? Wait, what is that?
the O shot is like they use your own blood plasma. It's kind of like PRP, and they put it in like your G spot and your clit, and it like stimulates the nerves, so you
Girl,
get way more
no. Is
orgasm.
this a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing. There's also the P shot for men. Yeah, girl, look at the O shot. It was life changing. Like I already got pretty wet and I had no problem orgasming. I actually kind of did it because I have a very tight pelvic floor and I was hoping to help like loosen it a little.
Uh-huh.
But it is like night and day. Like I'm just always playing with I'm always sticking shit inside my pussy now. It is so good. And I just think about all of the women who don't have orgasms. There's so many. And because porn is so male dominated, it's all about like hardcore penetration, like getting banged by five people.
Right.
And not a lot of people talk about like clitoral stimulation, which is really pleasurable for a lot of women, or how to play with how to actually do things that feel good to women, because women aren't speaking up about it. Women aren't speaking up even especially in casual relationships. They're not talking about it. The media and porn sites are not pushing out the kind of content that women are gonna that are gonna tell men how to please women. So it's really hard. And a lot of times men actually want to please women. They just don't know how, because the bitch isn't
Absolutely.
saying anything and they don't know what to do. Yeah, a lot of men don't even know how to please women because they don't have our anatomy. And if you're not telling him and he's not learning it from somewhere else, how is he? What, you're gonna go the rest of your life? Or you're gonna go, I don't even care how long, just unsatisfied or not as satisfied as you could be because you don't want to speak up because you're embarrassed that you have a sexuality. Newsflash: we all have sexuality, all of us.
Yes.
And we're all into different things, different kinks, different whatever. And being embarrassed of it is going to do nothing but harm you.
I think a lot of women just give up because they don't say anything. They feel embarrassed. I don't know why. Maybe it could be religion. Religion could be one
For
of the
sure.
reasons why. Also modesty, or the fact that they probably are told like, oh, if you want to orgasm, you're a slut, or you're just a street woman, or something like that. You're just there for your man's pleasure, whether it's your boyfriend or your fiance or your husband. That's your purpose. It's you. I think about the color purple every time I think about this scenario where Celie didn't experience her first orgasm until she had sex with Suge, another woman, because she was taken advantage of when she was a child. And when she talks about sex, she says all Mr. Do, that's the man that her father sold her off to. Well, I don't know. Yeah, he sold her off to this man, older man. His name is Mr. And he says, all Mr. does is get on top of me and do his business. And then Suge said, oh, you act like he's just get on top of you and pee on you. And she said, that's what it feels like. And I thought, oh my God, how many other women have that experience? Like all they do is lay there while the man just used them
Oh
as
my
a
God. I think
sex
that's
toy.
most women throughout history. Like I think about this all the time, especially because like my mom, grandma, all of them came from like my parents are immigrants from the Middle East, and just you don't even have to be there from there. And like think of your grandmother, great grandmother, great great grandmother that were in these either like arranged or closely arranged types of marriages, or even if you go far back enough, how many of the women that even led to me and you being here actually enjoyed the sex when they were
Good
conceiving
point.
us?
Yeah. Oh, what a sad thing to think. Yeah.
Exactly. And what I take with that is women that are here now in 2024, when we have the option, to go after what we want, we have the option to go after the men that we want, the men that satisfy us, do not give it up, because our great grandmothers and great great grandmothers did not have the choice. And so we have the choice and we should use it.
I agree. I totally agree. I think, and I think like talking like this on an open platform like X is going to help a lot. Like people are going to be able, not only am I going to have the edited version or the safe version of this on YouTube, but I also keep spaces like this open so that people can listen to the playback. All right.
Yeah.
So because a lot of people, because I titled it Hookers, Whores, and 304s, you're going to have a lot of women that are going to be like, oh, I don't want to be seen in that. So it's going to be okay for them to listen to the post show because of them being afraid of being seen in a space like this.
Yeah, and send me whatever links so I can promote it too, like on my socials and stuff.
I'll hook you up.
Yeah, for sure. Because I do think a lot of women need to hear this. A lot of women need to hear, like, even just that fact that I just said, like, how many women in history would have killed for the opportunity that we have now. How many people were just married off to some man and didn't know any better, because a lot of them had to be virgins and couldn't, and then they're just having that kind of sex their whole life. How many of them didn't even know that sex could be a really pleasurable, awesome thing?
Right.
And we have that option here in the West in 2024. So don't let male podcasters fucking deter you from it, of all people. Okay, at least back in history it was like armies, the government. Oh, you're gonna like have less sexual satisfaction in your life because you're watching a podcast, and like, no.
Yeah, I agree with that. Also, what do you suggest a woman? Okay, so say for instance, a woman is listening to us right now talking, and she's like, "Oh my God, that's me." She wants to begin to speak up about her sexual needs. And when I tell you, men are more willing to please you, trust me, they are eager to please you. You guys have to open up your mouth and just tell them what makes you feel good, what makes you wet, what makes you come. You have to just tell them that, because they want to serve. They want to. I know this is a trigger word for some, but they want to serve you like that sexually in jail. I mean, sexually in bed.
Yeah. The vast majority do. They just don't know what to do. And literally, like, once you actually speak up, do that, like, oh, do this, put your tongue like this, like, they do it. How many of them are like, no, like, in the middle?
Yeah, I've never had any of them say no.
No, like, I mean,
and then when they do such a good job, and you have to reinforce that, you go, yeah, like that. Oh, that's good. Oh,
they love that.
Oh, they love positive reinforcement. Yes.
Like, even when me and my partner first started, like, he didn't ask me anything like that, but then once I started becoming vocal, like, he literally subscribed to, Ayla on here, how she does all that stuff. She, like, subscribed to her Substack and pulled out, like, a list of questions she asked girls for her survey, and he, like, went through with me at this, like, really expensive restaurant we're at, like, I don't remember, New York or something. I was like, do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like And I'm just sitting there, this poor waitress, like, handing us our appetizers, and I'm like, oh, yeah, like, getting, like, a little bit. I like when, blah, blah, blah. And, like, I was just going through rating each one, and he was, like, really there to listen and learn, because they want to please women, because that gives them more sex. They get more sex. They're designed to make women satisfied so that they will have better sex, because men care about sex a lot, and the sex will always be better if both people are enjoying it.
Yes, there you go. Right. I cannot even comprehend having sex and I'm unfulfilled. I can't even think of something like wow. Like, and my heart goes out to women who don't know not only the joys of sex, but like a lot of the benefits of having good sex. I even told women, like, if you ladies are having problems with like cramps, you know what I'm saying, on your period. Dude, orgasms will knock that out
Oh my god,
quick.
yeah. I always try to do it like when it's starting, and it'll kind of like set the like it'll like just loosen everything, get everything, like
Yes,
it's so good for your body. And
it is.
yeah, having a partner where you guys are both fulfilled, and then like, you know, afterwards even the feelings are really great. Like both people feel really like it's awesome. It is
It
so much
is.
awesome for both people, and the men like it too.
Do you think the disconnect with relationships now is because of its being one-sided, with the fact that women are unfulfilled sexually, but they're also could be unfulfilled emotionally too, and because they're not expressing themselves or not instructing their male mates on how to, you know, deal with, how to please their body, how to bring them to orgasm, they want to be quiet, and therefore it's so because they're unsatisfied, then you have the passive aggressive things like, you know, the silent treatment or picking fights on something silly. I don't know. My thing is that, like, my marriage is awesome, right?
Mhm.
And I don't think it would be this way had I been the type of woman that's passive and been like, no, it's all about you, and, you know, and not be fulfilled sexually. Like, men like sex, but women like sex too, and I don't think people are realizing that for the most part.
Yeah, I agree. And having a fulfilled sex life, especially in any type of relationship, requires both of you to be fulfilled. And I do think, unfortunately, like I think we've spoken about this before, but even something like men are always going to orgasm, like even in
Always,
casual
always.
encounters. So
Yep.
women, like I have friends that do a lot of casual sex and they love it. But I do think a lot of the women that do it are having casual sex because women are typically less inclined to like meet a random person and like go home with them, whatever. And it's not
Yeah.
a moral issue at all. Like I have no moral
It's a
qualms
safety
with it.
issue.
It's a safety issue, and it's also like check in with your own feelings, because I think a lot of those women are doing it not because, oh, I want to go have this great night of sex, because women rarely, like I think it's very rare that they orgasm in one night stands or casual relationships. They're
Right.
more likely to orgasm in long-term relationships. So a lot of the women that are out doing this kind of behavior are the type of women doing it solely for the validation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really sad. And so like my advice to women is like, it doesn't make you a slut or a whore, or even if it does, who cares if
Yeah,
you
who
go and
cares if
sleep
it
with all
does? So
these men.
what?
But do
Right.
you like it? If you like it, keep going for it. But if you don't like it, if you're not orgasming, and you know you're just doing it so this guy maybe calls you back, or because you're drunk or you're on drugs, which is not a good idea anyway to be doing it under those circumstances. And again, like you said, not safe. Like what are you getting out of it? Like what the women that are doing this, if you're not getting anything out of it and you feel negative emotion, you're not sexually satisfied, stop.
Right.
You know, and a lot of them don't, because and in a way it's almost like I'm very careful, because you know I'm very sex positive, you're very sex positive, but
Yes.
I do not tell women to go run around and have sex with whoever and do whatever just because I don't have a moral issue with it. It's a health and safety issue
It's a
too.
yeah, exactly. It's a safety issue. It's a health issue because we want to also, like, I want to lower your chances of getting STDs. Also, want to lower your chances of getting, you know, accidentally pregnant. But also, you know, I want to lower your chances of being taken out.
Yeah, girl, did you see that call her daddy thing where the girl was like, "Oh yeah, like I never watch it, but she was like, yeah, she went to Paris to meet up that with that guy that she didn't know, and she wasn't that attracted to him, and she slept with him even though she doesn't like him, and she got HPV and needed to do that whole thing." But then like the clip that went viral is her saying like, people like, "Why didn't you leave? Like, first of all, why'd you go all the way over there to meet someone you don't
For
know?" And
real.
yeah, go all the way over
Huh?
there. And she was like, oh well, a lot of women probably relate to this, that it's just like uncomfortable to like say no, and it's just like you don't want.
What?
And I'm like, I do not relate to this at all. Like I'm sorry, I don't know what species these people, but like it is so, like I can't imagine just having sex with someone that is ugly because I just don't know how to like
I can't
leave.
either.
So
I don't listen to call me. I can't. We
I know,
call me
yeah,
daddy.
I
We're not. I'm not even on that level. They're not on my level either. But
can't.
for them to have guests like that, it just proves what I'm
No,
talking
that
about.
was the
Like,
host.
what?
The host to call her daddy, I think she just signed like $100+ million deal with Spotify.
With
And I'm like, yeah,
Spotify.
with Spotify for this podcast. And and it's crazy to me that so many women relate to this podcast
Oh, that's
where
so sad. The host said that?
yeah, the host said
Oh,
that. The host said, and apparently this was
no.
a long time ago, but she went, and then yeah, even the safety part of it. Imagine getting fucking HPV from a fucking guy you didn't even want to sleep with for 5 years. It was like a whole thing. She didn't even tell anybody, and they had to do that LEAP procedure, for her cervix and everything because
Yeah.
yeah, they had to do all of that over somebody that you didn't even want to sleep with. And so a lot of people were like, well, why did you go over there? Why didn't you tell your friends? Or why didn't you tell somebody? And she's just like, I think a lot of women can relate to this. Like, you just,
No, a lot of I can't relate to
no,
that
but
at all.
unfortunately they do because and a lot of women in the comments were, she has a big following. A lot of people listen to this. And I'm like, that's so sad. How do we make more women like us? Because I'm leaving
Girl, my mouth is
immediately.
wide open right now. I am so shocked. Because like I said, I don't like I don't like the host, even when it was two of them.
Yeah.
Their whole level of please me, validate men. They're just subservient to men, which is, if that's their thing, fine. But when I listen to these women, it's never about female empowerment. Is never about sexual liberation. It's always about, well,
They're
this is
like
how you
boy
suck a,
crazy.
this is how you do this. And I'm like, okay, so
It's
all I
like
hear,
Cosmopolitan. Like, here's how to make a man like
yeah,
you.
yeah,
It's like, and I hate that so many women just want to listen and go, well, I met this guy on a dating app and go like boy crazy, like centering men. And again, it's always the women like us who decenter men that all the men are fucking like losing their shit over. So
and
yeah, it is
attract
very
more
sad
men.
to me
This
that
is the
those.
thing. We attract more male audience. Girl, do you know my male, or ever since, like, I've been very vocal for the last, about decentering men. I am getting more of a male audience on Twitter and on YouTube.
Yeah. That's my point. And again, if you're the type of woman that relates to this and you're like, yeah, when I go out with the guy and I don't really want to sleep with him, but I do it anyway because it's kind of awkward to leave. You sit at home. Sit at home. Going out into the street is not for you. You need a guardian. You need a conservator. Like, you are a child.
Right. Right.
And you have no business being out in these streets at all. If that is
Oh,
how you are,
man.
work on yourself, get confident, learn how to say no. If you don't want to be in a situation, don't just give in. Like, those, it's so bad for you. It's dangerous, it's unhealthy, and I worry that creating this like landscape of like, I mean, the casual sex hookup culture, I don't have the same issues with it trad cons or red pillars do. My issue is like, these women need to get a backbone if they want to do this. If they don't want to do this, they should not do it.
Agreed.
It almost seems
Wow.
like back in the day where women were like, oh, you only go out with a man you might get married to. I don't want to go back there, but y'all bitches are so fucking weak that you're almost making it like it was better for us back when we had no fucking authority, no rights, because you guys don't know what to do with it. And now there's this argument going around like, oh yeah, look, all these women are hurt now because back when they had no autonomy, they weren't able to make bad decisions. So stop making bad decisions and ruining it for all of us.
Right. Exactly. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. I'll definitely check that out. Cause like I said, I don't listen to that old girl. I can't relate to her podcast, but she does have a $100 million
Oh, a
yearly.
huge following. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
saw the clip going viral, and different conservatives had different things to say about them. Obviously, the conservative men came out and they're like, "This is why men need to lead because women can't lead." I'm like, no, that can't lead.
Yeah. She can't lead. She
Yeah,
can't lead. Right.
and some women apparently can't, and the ones that can't should just stay at home.
Right. And I can show you a lot of men that can't lead.
Oh, for
Okay.
sure, a lot of men, most of them, the vast majority of them can't lead.
Facts.
The vast majority of people, period, can't lead. But
Right.
it's not that the ones that can are all men and the ones that can are all women. Like, you just want the people, like I always say this on podcasts and people are like, oh, are women too emotional to do this? Or, oh, there's less female scientists than male scientists. I'm like, who cares? I don't care what the percentage is. I just want the best on my planet. I want the best scientists. I want whoever's best for the job,
Mm-hmm.
man or woman. I don't care. Y'all live in this weird world where you're just gonna eliminate people that are best for the. Like they're like, oh, 16% of Nobel Prize winners are women. Only 16%. I'm like, still, that's 16% that in your society wouldn't be there because
Right.
you're automatically eliminating people based on their category instead of looking at their traits. Women can be leaders, men can be leaders. I just want the best leaders.
True, true, true. Okay. Now we're gonna lift this up because that depressed me. So we got about 17 more minutes. And
Okay.
so I wanna because you know me, girl, I'm a stickler. I say, hey girl, I'm gonna keep you for anywhere for an hour and a half, you know what I'm saying? Because me and you can talk for a while. Hold on, but listen to this. On my Twitter, I have been uh, showing pictures of these guys who do evil things, like Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate and all the red pill guys. I'm literally showing women that these men who keep saying that women age like milk, these guys are aging like milk. And Brian from whatever podcast, dude gained like 100 pounds. His face is all swollen and red. Um, he has a 7-month-old gut, right? Like a pregnancy gut. He has 7-month-old pregnancy gut. And when you look, I showed a picture. If you go to my Twitter space, I mean my Twitter timeline, you will see that tweet right before the space where I show a picture of how he used to look 4 years ago and how he looks now. And then as a matter of fact, let me read exactly what I said, and then I'm gonna ask you a question about this. I said, ladies, men are the ones who age like milk, not women. There's no example of any leader from the red pill genre who aged like fine wine. They all age like milk, especially fat ass Brian Atlas from the whatever podcast. Yuck. And I show a picture of this guy like he ballooned. Here's my thing. I believe, and I could be wrong, when I look at all these men and Pearl, how badly they age because of how they attack women, how they try to subjugate women, how they try to take women's rights away, how they vilify women. You can't, if you come from a woman, you cannot have this much hate and detest for women and not think that that's not going to aid you. And when I look at all the men, I really try to look and see which one of these people, including Pearl, which one of them aged well. None of them have aged well. So my question to you is, do you think that one of the exchanges of these people making a whole lot of money off of vilifying women, attacking women, and trying to subjugate women, do you think that in exchange of getting money, because it's a lot of money in it, but in exchange, it's like you lose your soul, you lose who you are, you lose your vanity, because these guys they're aging rapidly, especially Pearl. Pearl is 27, will be turning 28 this November, and she
Girl, when
looks like
I
she's in
saw
her.
Pearl, I mean, I do not understand, especially since you're making all this money. Like these days, like you could do all I do. I'm literally going later to do radio frequency microneedling, building collagen in my face. Why is she so like her? She just got bad genes. Like that one. That one is just horrible, horrible genes.
Actually, it's
Like
true. She does have bad
she
genetics.
has horrible genes. Like she goes out into the sun and her face like just malfunctions. Like her skin just like whatever is up with her. And I think that's part of the reason. I don't know which one comes first. I think that people that are really attractive and radiant and positive are just not going to be the type of people that are going to get into this in the first place.
Oh, good
So
point.
that's what I think. Like pretty people, good looking people, they're not going to make their whole lives about hate unless they have another deficiency somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that when I saw Rollo Tomasi in person,
Oh
I
my
was horrified.
God.
I was horrified.
Oh my God. He looks worse in person. Cause girl, he looks bad on his
He looks
live streams.
horrible in person. Like he looks like he just did meth like 5 minutes ago.
Oh,
It's so bad. It's so bad. And I'm like, you are of all people going to be giving advice
oh
about
God.
anything? Like he looks like a Dollar Tree pirate. Like, it's just, it's so, it's, but I mean, yeah, a lot of the people that are, big and bad on their, on their platforms, and you see them in person and they're itty bitty and they're not that cute, and you got to think like, yeah, of course, people that have a lot going for them are not it's not fun to like sit there all the time, like what Pearl is doing, and just blame women for
Yeah.
everything. Like that is, it's not, it's not like you come away from that feeling good. And if
Right.
you do
Right.
come away feeling good, it's also filled with so much hate, resentment, negativity. And I feel like that's aging on its own. Like
Hmm.
I spend most of my time, if you guys know me, like I just started, I made an announcement 2 days ago on Instagram that I'm going to start like trying to post because I'm supposed to be more personable and authentic to try to grow my page. But besides that, like I have such a struggle. Like I am constantly traveling, seeing amazing things, doing amazing things. And it is like pulling teeth for me to get on social media and show what I'm doing, or even like take a selfie and stuff, because I love life.
Oh, I'm the same way.
I love life. The last thing I'm
Yeah.
thinking about at the end of the night or when I'm with my friends is like, but Rolo, I literally, me and Farha made the joke that we want to get him that that Apple thing where you can like wear goggles and see all your tabs like at once, because he is like, he doesn't miss a beat. And I'm like, how do you even like take a or do anything? Because you do not miss anything. And for me, it's like the opposite. Like, I literally have to put it on my to-do list, like interact with comments, because otherwise I won't. Like I just
Right.
won't. I
Right.
want to live my life, and I love life, and I love being out and doing things. And when I'm online, I love to like interact and troll, and like you do too, but it doesn't consume me, and it doesn't
No.
consume you. And these people are just wholeheartedly consumed by this. Like Pearl doing a whole documentary, she was saying, or she had done one on like,
Yeah, she says she done one, yet still she keeps pushing it back on when she's going to release it because she knows it's going to be a flop.
yeah, and it's like that's what you spend your time doing? Like
Oh
that's your
God.
entire life? Like that's like, yeah, that can't be good for you. That can't, just doesn't make you pretty. You're not getting your beauty sleep. You're not going to the spa getting your
True.
massages. You're not at the gym. You can't, you're just, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was away at some friend's wedding and I just left Twitter. I just walked away. I think I retweeted someone's tweet, but I'm very inactive to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna live my life because Twitter can't consume you, and I have another life out there. And I don't take pictures. I don't really show myself off. First of all, I'm not in the business yet to like show off my body, show off my face. Once I get my website up and running, I'm not in a rush though, because I know how that work used to be. You had to take pictures, and
Oh
it's
God.
tedious. It's
It's
so
very
tedious.
tedious. I'm just now, because some people are like, I'm like, and I don't even show any. And like I'm the opposite of most people, because I didn't have social media until I did it for a career, and everybody else wants to show their best outfits, their most like amazing experiences on social media. Meanwhile, I'm like, I'm not wasting this outfit on the internet. Like I'm not wasting this for the Instagram. I'm like, I want real people with real eyes to walk around and see with this. Like, even
Right.
going to cool places and seeing so many people look at it through a screen, or you'll see like, that's why so many things, like you got to be careful, because when I go to a new place and I'm like looking for things to do, especially if it's somewhere where there's like a lot of tourists, like a lot of the places, like there'll be an art exhibit that just looks good for like one Instagram picture, like, and people are like, oh, you got to go here. I'm like, none of you enjoyed this place is
Right.
literally just all mirrors. It looks stupid and it just looks good in a picture. You guys are literally living, but half of you guys don't even make money off this, so you guys are, I don't even know what's wrong with you guys. But like,
True.
but to live your life, meanwhile, like the things I like to do are things where it's usually like you can't take photography, you can't even take pictures. Like it's like an
Right.
experience, a true
Yes.
experience. And those are the memories and those are the experiences that really feed your soul. And it is like pulling teeth for me to even post one Instagram story a day, which is
Oh,
my
it
new
is.
goal. So I'm like, I don't know, I guess I'll take a picture of my kebab or whatever I'm eating.
I
Like I
I
don't
don't
even.
even I know some people care. I don't care. It's like, and not only that though, like I said, unless it's part of your, your business
Brand,
where
yeah.
your brand, where you have to show yourself, the stuff like that. I'm so glad it's not my brand for Tree of Logic. Okay.
Yeah.
For Goddess Amazon, it's going to have to be my brand again. But that's the reason why I'm not so in a rush of doing it, because I know how much it was to make the videos, to take the pictures, to smile and do all this.
Takes
It
away
was,
from the experience you're in.
it does.
And
It
I can't
does.
believe people do this for free with like 2,000 followers. I'm like,
Yeah.
why are you doing you don't have a business to promote, you don't have anything to do, like you are living your life through this device. And I feel like a lot, especially grown men like Rolo, like what are you doing?
He has nothing else. Well, him and his wife have separated. So this man is lonely. This man has a lot of time on his hands. And this is the reason why he's always like chronically online.
Chronically. It is such a red flag. And that's something I noticed as I started meeting some of these especially people in the like debate like streamer world, is I was like when I went to Miami and I saw like like some of these people, even people who don't stream, they are just like obsessed. Like they do not leave their houses, they do not leave their rooms, and some of them aren't even like making like money. They're just watching. Like they know everything about everyone. Like they probably know me and you. They're probably in here. Hey guys. They are just like their whole, and it is like it literally is like a horror movie. It's so dystopian to me that it is like no, like I go weeks without posting anything, and people are like, "Oh my god, are you okay? Are you okay?" And people almost assume if you're not posting stuff, it
Yeah,
means
something's
something
wrong with
bad's
you.
happened. And I'm
Yeah,
like, no,
something
no, no. For
happened.
me,
Yeah.
it means I'm having fun. The times I'm having the most fun are where I'm most inactive on social media. And it's yeah, it's so unhealthy. It's so unhealthy. Even like building, like I do not understand like how people, and I know like this is part of our, and I don't even understand the people content that people watch. Like I look at the content that's really popular, like mukbang. Like why would I want to watch somebody just eat? Like
I hate mukbang. I cannot watch somebody else eat. But hold on, I'm that way with. I can't watch because I'm not the one fucking. So if I'm not fucking, I don't want to watch other people
yeah,
right?
I don't want
And
to watch like I remember before I had a lot of like even people would watch like luxury hauls, like come look at all of the come look at my $200,000 car. And I'm
yeah,
like, if it's not my car, I don't want to watch someone else have a fucking car. Like, are you kidding
yes.
me? The only time I want to watch videos about a car is if I'm deciding which $200,000 car to buy my fucking self. I do not understand why people want to watch other people like, oh, look at all this like wonderful life I'm living, or people watching like the Kardashians and stuff. I'm like, first of all, this is so boring. Second of all, like, what are you getting at? I don't understand.
I never could understand what the Kardashians, and I could never understand people being fans of those women and what you get out of watching them. But then again, hold on. If I want to be fair, maybe perhaps they are vicariously living through
But
the
that's fucking sad
Kardashians.
too. That's sad too. Like, I like, why are you vicariously living through like then your own life seems far more depressing. Like you can't.
Well, maybe their lives are depressing because they fixed it that way. Your
Yeah, I don't know.
life
I
is
don't
for
know how
living,
so
and you
much.
can make your life any kind of way you want. You just have to make that decision.
Yeah, that's true. But all and with the abundance of content on the internet, like literally we have like theoretical physicists telling us about how we may be able to achieve genetic immortality by the time our grandchildren are here. Like just all of the advancements into space, AI, politics, all of these types of things. And you want to watch somebody come with me to Target? I'm like, why? You could go to Target yourself. Like, I want to watch someone go to the
Right.
moon. I don't want to watch someone go to Chipotle. Like, eat with me. Let's go to Chipotle. Like, it's insane to me that so many people just, there's so much like amazing. And one thing I do find at least is that people who do make content like you, I'm a big like YouTube podcast person, and they're actually
Yes.
talking about important things. They're
Yes.
not the ones that are posting like their dinner on
Right.
Instagram,
Right.
right? They're
Right.
actually sitting here talking about important deep things. And when you fill your time with that, with books, with knowledge, you have no interest in looking at what other people are eating or what you're eating and sharing it
Facts.
to the world.
And the only way you would care about what people are eating unless they are teaching you a certain type of etiquette, like because I was going to
Yeah.
a very very fancy dinner 2 years ago with my husband, and this was like the Uber, like we're talking about tailcoats and
Yeah,
and
yeah, those
ties,
are funny. I
and
love this.
I had to learn, I had to refresh myself on table etiquette. And that's the only, and even to the point where how you eat, like I had to watch that. Other than that, I wasn't interested in watching anybody do anything eating at the
Yeah,
table.
I
Stuff
like
like
to
that.
see people but I like to read reviews. Like if I'm picking like a restaurant, I want to read what
Mm-hmm.
people have said about it. But that's
Yes.
usually not the intent of the people watching it. Girl, good for you, because when I go to those places, I am like a mess. I am like playing with the food. Like I was just in New York for 10 days, and every day I was like, I want to go to a new Michelin star, like those really like 2-3 words. Like they bring you like they're like, here's like a beetle found in the Appalachian Mountains sprinkled with Parmesan, filled with a thing, and I'm just like, okay, and then it comes and I'm just like stabbing it, like with it, asking weird, like I do not care, and I'm looking
Oh my
around and
God,
like
girl. You were so free spirited.
I'm
I
like, we
love
definitely
it.
look like new money people in here, and everyone else is old money. Especially because the guy was like has all these like chains and whatever, and everyone else is like, like high business, whatever, and I'm like a prostitute. And I'm like, this is awesome. I don't care.
Oh my God, girl! I would have paid anything to be at that table with you, girl. I would've-
Oh my God. And you know how like the waiters, they're like the experience is like so important for them. So like right
Yes.
away I'm like, we need to be gone in an hour because we have a show, and they're already like, oh my God, okay, we'll let chef know immediately. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like I'm just like, yeah, I'm sorry. Or
Oh,
if you don't eat anything, like if you don't finish a plate, like you did not like it, and I'm like,
yeah. But you know what? In their defense, they don't even put that much food on there. There was a little plate, and they gave me something, and I didn't even know what it was, and it didn't taste that good. And I was
mm.
like, okay, I'm gonna have to eat it because they go, did you not like it? Is there something wrong with it? So it's just like woof. It's not that much, like two spoonfuls, and I'm like, okay, I'm over it. You know what I'm saying?
I'll wait for the next course where you
Yeah,
give me
exactly. Yeah.
another leaf. I know. Honestly, for those places, just go to Taco Bell before, so go
Yeah, you
full.
gotta eat, and that's what my husband said. Let's eat before we go there because you're gonna be hungry
Yeah,
afterwards. And
I don't
he
want
was
3
not
palate
lying.
cleansers, bro. They taste disgusting, and I'm hungry. I don't want a palate cleanser. I want food. But it is fun. It is fun to just
It
go
is.
laugh and have a yeah.
It is very fun. Okay, so in closing, I want you, like, you gave some great advice. And I want, like, because like I said, when Andrew was like, oh, even though you don't have sex, you're just dominating, these men are getting sexually gratification for it. It still makes you a prostitute. It still makes you a hooker. Even bald headed Tim Pool was saying that women who pose, even if they don't have sex or whatever, they're considered hookers. And he's saying this as if he's like, and when I call these women who do OnlyFans hookers, they get mad at me. And I'm like, I hope the women who are really OF, because he could lie, right? I
Yeah, yeah,
hope
yeah.
they don't get mad at him because I don't get mad. But it's like,
No.
I learned from just watching you when it came to the Saint in the Center, to watch your exchange on how he tried to do that to dehumanize you, and it rolled off of you like water on a duck's back. And that was so empowering to watch. So give your advice to women who could be, it doesn't matter if they're in OF, it doesn't matter if they're on phone sex, it doesn't matter what they could be, just a regular woman who's taking pictures in their favorite dress that makes them look sexy.
Mm-hmm.
These inferior men, not all men are inferior, I'm just saying the men who attack women for just their existence, they are inferior, and they are
Yeah.
attacking them and calling them, oh, you're a whore, you're a slut, you're ran through. Listen, ladies, just say, yep, now what? It deflates them
It completely
immediately.
deflates them, and I promise you, all women, your life will be 10 times better and you will enjoy your life so much more if you live it as though you are not afraid of being called those kinds of names. Because those kinds of names are usually hurled towards women who are yielding some type of power through their sexuality, through their
Good
expression.
point. Yes.
And that is why it's hurled at them. No one's calling a little girl sitting in her room, like, just doing nothing and just cooking, cleaning up after her
No one
husband.
calling
No one's
Rosie
calling her a
O'Donnell a
prostitute.
slut.
If you live your life like you do not care and worry about you and what's going to bring you the most happiness. Look, I left my job as a lawyer, as a super respectable, whatever, to come do this on the internet. And I have never been happier. I never have to set an alarm. I get all my hours of sleep. I get to travel the world. I have friends that love me, family that loves me, men that love me. You can find your own tribe on the internet, that people that are like-minded like you. And imagine giving all of that up. I would be sitting in an office right now, completing my billable hours for 1/10 of the income every single day, just because I didn't want to be called a whore or a prostitute. How sad.
Yeah.
Don't let that be you.
Well put. And we're going to end it on that note. Now, what I'm going to do is unless you have any new links, I don't think I need to get any links from you. Do you have anything new as far as a link is concerned?
No,
I got all your old stuff from the last time we did interviews.
Kind of has everything.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is, do you like the picture I made of you? I'm so proud of myself.
I didn't see it. How do I see it?
Go to my Twitter. Okay. And go to the space where, not the first one, but go to the one underneath there where it says where it says hooker whores and 304s, and
oh see. Wow!
Look, you're so fun to make, and you could tell a woman did this, by the way, because I was like, she's so pretty. She don't take a picture of her face so much. Yeah, she got big titties. So what? Like
I love this. I'm retweeting this. I'm still.
Yeah, and I was like, I just want to show her. She has such a complete package. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put your links underneath here, but also on my YouTube channel is always going to be in the description box. So, because I want to start doing this more with other people in the industry, saying whether they do phone, whether they're courtesan, whether they do OF, or like me, professional domination. I want to make this more of a sex positive show so we can have conversations, not only about sex, which we had a very good conversation about sex, but also to talk about other things that are important to us in force our social life and politics.
Yeah, and let me know if there's anything I can ever do to help with that, because that's a very important goal of mine that I have too, especially as somebody outspoken in this space. So I'm always down to have conversations. I'm always down to come on or help any way I can.
I'm going to take you on that. You're always like, girl, you're so intelligent and you're so free thinking. That's what I said. When I said the first person I want to interview, it has to be Jazmen, because we vibe so well. I think I'm going to ask Farha. I know she's a little quiet mouse and things like that. I think I want to interview her next. Like, I got a list of people that I want to bring on. So it's like, I definitely am going to take you on your
yeah. I can reach out to her. She typically doesn't do virtual, so but I'll see if
she doesn't. That's cool. I mean, like I said, listen. I'm not like one of these guys. If people say no, I'm not going to go. You. I didn't want you anyway. Like
yeah.
I got a long list of people.
You're awesome too. I love your bio. I'm the bully's bully, because that is literally how I would describe you. Like you're like me. We're like the mean girls, but we're only mean to the bullies.
Facts.
And that's great. I'm glad someone else is in this space that's doing that. That's not trying. I hate that they go low, we go high. No.
No.
Lower.
No. I'm gonna go lower. I'm gonna go to hell level. That's me. Okay.
Exactly. And that's definitely my personality type. So I love that you're also in this space, just alpha womaning it up and being like, no, I'm not gonna.
Oh, thank you, girl. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we need you.
All right. Yeah, we need you. Okay, we need you too. All right. Okay, so is there anything you want to promote before we go?
No, I mean, you'll have my links,
Yeah.
jazmenjafar.me. I guess, yeah, depending on what kind of content you're into. If you want to go on my OnlyFans and all that, that's good. If you want to follow, Instagram is now where I'm going to be a little more active and posting, like when the Jubilee stuff comes out and other stuff comes out, that's going to be
Gosh,
where I post
I
it
can't
first.
wait. I'm gonna keep an eye out on that. I can't wait till that come out. We're
Yeah,
definitely gonna watch
I'm
that.
curious how they fucking edited it, but yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Me and Miss Pearly things.
Oh God, that
I know
heifer.
that little video she was trying to take of me on the way out. I know she didn't post that because she just so. I'm like, next time I need to bring out my own phone and do it.
Yeah, you should have did it on her, dude.
I know.
Oh,
But
that
I'm
would have
so
went
off. I'm so
viral.
offline. I never even think to
Yeah,
pull
yeah,
out
yeah,
my
yeah.
phone and do
I
something.
totally get it. Yeah, yeah.
And then she
I
got
t-
into this car that looked like it was from like 1980 with this fat guy. And then she left.
Okay. No, no, no. You gotta be specific. Fat black guy.
He had a hat, and it was like so I can't. You could just tell he was fat from like the neck, and it just.
No, 9 times out of 10, he gonna be black.
I'm like,
Okay.
I don't understand. Like, isn't her dad a billionaire? I'm like, I at least got a black car service taking me back to my hotel. Who the fuck? I would never
No,
get in the car with
her
him.
mom, yo, she hates her mom so much. Her mom is still out living her life traveling. Her dad is at home and basically funding her failures. Okay. Her mom is going to the UN. Her mom is doing cartwheels all over in Italy and Slovakia. Her mom is like just traveling all over the world, empowering women. She's like the total opposite of Pearl, and I think that's the reason why Pearl. Another reason, one of the many reasons why Pearl resent women is because she'll never amount to the level of her mother.
No, she'll never amount to the level of even like a fucking 5 out of 10 basic normal girl because she doesn't have anything, and she's the one like, oh, women are ugly and expire after 25. You didn't
expire after 25
before she turned 25. She wasn't hot at 18, 19, 20.
She was never hot.
She was never hot. So she's like, oh, well, all you guys are gonna lose it. Yeah, at least we had it at some point, or we're having it now. That's why she resents women. Because even that little sliver of time that she says we all have, she didn't get it. So
true. So true.
She was not attractive for even 3 months. Like, it was just
she
never.
Even said that. She said she was never the hot girl, and all the guys pick her friends first. And then if her friends dump the guys, then the guys will go, well, okay, Pearl, you want to go out, and she'll be like the third pick or the fourth pick down.
I'm surprised at that. She just looks like a cancerous giant. Like she looks like she is like recovering from skin cancer. It's just like, I don't know what's going on with her.
I called her a shaved down Sasquatch. That's what I call her.
My favorite thing is trying to describe her to people. When I'm talking to like someone doing my hair or something, I'm like, have you heard of Pearl or whatever? Like, because I just did the Jubilee thing, and my favorite thing is Googling her and going to images and seeing people's faces, because even people who don't want to be like are just like, oh.
Is that what she looks like? Oh,
human emotion to be grossed out by Pearl. And again, I don't comment people's looks unless
she does it. No. You can go after her looks, right? You can go after her looks because that's all she does.
That's all
she goes after other women's looks.
Yeah, and like usually if I'm debating someone and like a normal, I'm trying to have a conversation, I completely keep it to the material. But people like Andrew Wilson and people like Pearl who they don't do that themselves, and they have no problem hitting everyone else with the low blows, and no one wants to hit back at them. Me and you are going to be the fucking one.
Oh yeah. I'll hit back. You want to go there? I'll go there with you too.
Exactly.
Not a problem.
Thank you so much, girl.
All right, girl. Listen, I will be checking in on you again. Thank you so much for coming by. I really, really, really appreciate that. And like I said, once I finish hooking everything up, I'm gonna send you the link so you can promote it. And we're gonna because it was a lot of important messages, a lot of gems you dropped during this space that women need to hear, and we're gonna make sure that they do that.
Wonderful.
And hear that. Okay.
Thank you so much, Tree.
All right, guys.
Have a great day.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.